Yeah. I should have deleted this one.
With this lady? No. Predator.
Wait, Christine, wait. I'm gonna get you from the front too. I got it from the back.
Let me get it from the.
In 2016, my husband and I moved to Short Creek on the Utah-Arizona border. It's the fundamentalist Mormon version of Mecca.
You have the call from Warren Church. You may start the conversation now.
At the time,
Cool.
their prophet, Warren Jeffs, was in prison.
Guilty of 2 counts of felony sexual assault against 2 girls.
We heard how dangerous this town was. The most reclusive, isolated town in America.
Warren Jeffs may be in prison, but he's apparently still very much in charge.
Jeffs led the polygamous sect, the Fundamentalist Church of Latter-day Saints.
But I felt drawn to come here to help these people. And they said, we don't need outsider help. Well, guess what? Yes, they did. Yes, they fucking did.
People who think this story came to an end with Warren going to prison are wrong.
They've left a very vulnerable population.
We didn't know who we could trust.
Sam Bateman saw himself being an heir apparent to Warren Jeffs. That tells you all you need to know.
Predators don't come in dressed with their horns and their shape. They come in dressed in their suit and tie.
The only reason I'm rich is every God bless you with these skills. Everybody wants to jump in.
Turn the David.
I had to stay that way a little bit.
I was there. Who's paid now?
Well, thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna work on a different stencil today. I'm also watching like a Netflix documentary about. Let's see, it's called "Trust Me, the False Prophet." My friend recommended it, so yeah.
The body's one,
Mine is broken on steady tides. My emotion is to trust yourself, but how do you know when? How do you know when? What if I fall into the abyss? What if I swing only just to miss? What if the rose
Not this little intro.
got me?
So I have this design from a previous sketch that I did that I'm gonna try to make into a sketch or into a stencil. Let me show you guys what it is. So this is the design. I haven't done it in a while. This is like from years ago. So I'm gonna try, and that's like the look that I'm going for right now. But I'm gonna like fix it and everything. But
Move into the crib. I mean, it is absolutely crazy out here. Especially for me, I'm a record producer. What the hell am I doing now?
actually, you might have to do it like just within this because it's like a lot longer. But we'll see. I'm just gonna do a rough sketch about it real quick.
Okay, it's makeshift, okay? The life of comfort.
Let's see, let me get my bag. I have a bag of things like this.
I'm gonna walk this way.
Do this a little bit more straight.
I'm gonna do 10 different shots.
When we got here, we felt like we were in the wild, wild west. There were no outsiders here. I mean, there was maybe one other outside family that I knew of. My husband, Tolga, is a music video producer and a photographer. And so, of course, when we moved to this town, he wanted to document it.
Hold on. So,
That's where the LDS community gets their food supply, then not just there, a lot of you out here. Well, that's true, right? A lot of people out here.
We're gonna go back in with the rulers and stuff, but
Everybody was leery of her because nobody knew what she was about. We always had people looking at us like we were a freak show. So there was a lot of speculation among our people that they were just here to do something for TV or write a book or something.
we're documenting it all.
They were a very eccentric couple, and it was very odd. He was from Turkey, and he had long hair with a little ponytail. She was like a little blonde Hollywood girl. She wore a lot of vintage clothing, which I thought was darling. But I didn't know for sure why she was here.
I felt a sense of calling that I wanted to move here. Long ago, I used to be Mormon. I was mainstream Mormon, but I was absolutely zealous and devoted. Mormons believe in prophets. And I met a man who persuaded me that he was a modern day prophet. And I decided if this man was a prophet, I was going to be completely obedient. I had to do what he said. Little by little, I got more confused and I lost my critical thinking. Before I knew it, I was so broken. I didn't even know who I was anymore. So I then spent the next decade reading everything I could about cults. I became an expert in cult psychology. I believe that every single person who was FLDS needed to be rescued from irrational occultic beliefs and brainwashing. But I felt connected to these people. So all of this made me believe that I could be helpful here. And when I got here, I learned that the FLDS were floundering.
In the aftermath of Warren Jeff's incarceration, the community has really been fraying and fragmenting. Warren Jeffs wound up in a prison down in Texas. He's been there a long time. But I've been around the story long enough to know incarcerating Warren would do nothing to diminish his power.
Having him in prison doesn't change what he is. You know, Heavenly Father hasn't appointed another to be the prophet. So as far as we're concerned, he's still the prophet.
Do you know what happened in that trial?
Won't know anything about it.
You don't want anything about it? How come?
Don't want to.
I shut myself off to that negative about him.
You don't believe it's true?
I know it's not true.
Warren Jeffs became more powerful because he's now a martyr. And from his prison in Texas, he would put out edicts.
The revelation of God.
He told his congregation no more marriage. He told them to stop having sex because he's not having any sort of intimate contact. Apparently, nobody else could.
We weren't supposed to be getting married. We couldn't have relations. Even with your husband, then we didn't hug anymore. We've been taught our whole lives that not 1 year should go by without a child being born. So now there were no more children. Nobody was having babies.
Oh my gosh. Look at these cribs.
Oh, mackerel. This is where they took all the cribs and bassinets after you couldn't have children anymore. There are just hundreds and hundreds of FLDS cribs in here.
You have a group of people who are paralyzed, waiting for their leader to be released from prison, not knowing what the right steps are to do. And around 2015, Warren seemed to be getting more mentally unstable, and he stopped communicating with almost everyone outside of prison.
And then in 2016, the outside government came in and took control of the town away from the FLDS, Warren Jeffs. The court sort of took control of the entire community.
The prophet was gone. We weren't getting directive. We were a very, very vulnerable and hungry people.
When we got to Short Creek, we began to see what the FLDS were going through. We started seeing endless moving trailers, packing up and leaving town. We learned that when the town had been taken over by the state of Utah, the FLDS started being evicted from their homes.
I'm not going to be. I'm going to want you to kick me out of my home.
Because in order for them to stay in their homes, they had to sign a document that they believed was a violation of their religion. This is an eviction of somebody who was just evicted last week, moved over temporarily into this house. So Toga and I just started documenting these things.
They need help. I don't know what's going on, but this looks really wrong. I feel bad for these people.
That's my great-grandfather Elmer's homestead. Really heartless.
We just saw what I felt was injustice, and no one cared because they were FLDS and had been painted with the crimes of Warren Jeffs. So we thought, well, maybe we could do a documentary and tell the other side of the story of these FLDS people because they're so stigmatized.
Okay, that's rolling. Do this, so I think it's audio on both cameras.
We wanted to help people understand the positive side of the community.
Looks like you're going on a safari. What's with the hat?
Producer. Okay, so I'm gonna do. Let's do a little orientation. Real quick.
Okay, do it.
Now, if he's filming, if you see Toga with a camera, then don't call his name and don't call my name. We want to show the regular life. We want to show the truth.
It took us a while to totally trust, but she really knew how to get into people's hearts and put them at ease.
So the FLDS people consider themselves to be like the real Mormons, right?
Yeah, we just feel like that we want to live it fundamentally in its purity.
Yeah, okay.
Now, I didn't know anything about her backstory. I didn't know anything about her ventriloquism.
I happen to be a ventriloquist.
By the way, this is Bikini. She's my scarecrow. I'm not just a scarecrow. I am half scarecrow, half cookie.
Before I moved here, I lived a very colorful life. I had all kinds of adventures. Miss Michigan, Christine Marie. I am a former Miss Michigan, an escape artist, certified life coach.
We're gonna make bowel babies. I love these. So what you do is cut out 2 pieces of fabric.
When I met Christine, she had a TV show called Gingerbread House. And she was teaching kindergarten. I've never met anybody like her in my life. I would catch her doing crazy stuff, helping out people.
This year, collected up a bunch of donations for our community. As we were making the documentary, I also launched a nonprofit called Voices for Dignity. We would bring comfort bags and resource lists.
And these are all.
We needed a way for the women to have an income. So Christine created Short Creek Cottage, where we sell homemade items.
Oh, that's adorable.
How I would have survived without this cottage.
I had gained their trust. I thought, what an honor and unique position it was for me.
How'd you get down?
How did you get down? I decided whether people leave the church or don't, I want them to be okay. And that I would never say anything negative about their prophet because I have the unique opportunity to help people. Why would they come to somebody fighting against their way of life?
Wait 1 second, Christine, wait. You can turn that one on. Hold on, wait, guys.
We were very excited about this documentary project that we were making.
I'm getting video.
By this point, it was just known that Toga's around with a camera. And that's how we met Sam Bateman.
Hey, Christine. Come right through here.
Okay.
Push all out of the way.
Okay, thanks. All right, got it. In the community, Sam was not generally a man with status.
I don't mind doing things that could break my leg or something. Oh, careful.
When I first met Sam Bateman, I didn't think much about him. He had got an eviction notice, and he asked me to help, which I did. At that time, he said, I'm not doing very well. I am in financially dire straits. He and his wife were getting a divorce, and he was a broken man. People thought of Sam Bateman as kind of a schlup. He could never seem to make money at his jobs. He was looking for, a lifeline. I didn't see him for some time, and then Sam reappears with a new wife. Over 18, but young and beautiful.
You can just look at her more, Christine.
Look at me. Keep in mind, people are not getting married because the prophet stopped marrying people.
I remember thinking, that's interesting. How did Sam get a new wife? Somebody's been doing something that wasn't put together by the prophet.
What background do you want that?
This one, yeah.
The next time I saw Sam, he had another wife. Again, over 18, and the younger sister of the first wife.
I was running the Short Creek Cottage, and Sam showed up outside in the back. He was in a vehicle with a trailer, like a flatbed trailer. And I went out, and it was like just dripping with women.
He showed up with all of these wives. And I was like, really? How did that happen? There were babies too. It was like, I forgot some of our core beliefs. It was really strange to me. All these women and girls.
Let's see.
I had no desire to be close to that situation. I just started avoiding all of them. Everybody that I heard was involved with him. I don't want to go there.
Sam was always kind of a joke in our whole friend group. So at first, I didn't believe it. I thought it was funny. But when Warren goes to a whole group of people and says, "Thou shalt not have sex," I'll bet you that lasts about 2.5 milliseconds. Why? Because you can't proselyte human nature out of humans. They're going to do it. And guess what? They did.
Sam is apparently doing his own version of being FLDS. Getting married, having babies, and who knows what else. The FLDS community shunned Sam. They knew something was wrong. Red flag, Sam is shunned. I don't shun. If you shun, you can't help. If you attack, they're not going to come to you when they're in need.
You want to play?
Oh, it's working. Okay, so what happened? Just seeing Sam with all these females is concerning in and of itself. So I wanted to figure out what was going on. Sam invited there were a lot of people there, but mostly young women. And then some very small children. They gave us their Sunday best. And then after dinner, they started singing to us like a talent show.
He's gonna build on a singing song too.
Okay.
Sound like.
All right.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
I want to go here so I get everybody. You guys don't all fit in the camera. I have to like keep turning, I guess, like this. All right, we're ready for the song.
I had alarm bells ringing everywhere. I knew that Sam was married to some of these women, even these young women. But there were rumors that he was married to the children.
And this group is called. Okay. What? Really?
After the dinner and talent show, I talked to a police officer.
The Colorado City, Hilldale City Police Department is a department that's contracted to manage policing services on both sides of the border in Utah and in Arizona. We here in Colorado City, Hilldale, have a nice little community. The nickname's the Crick. It's been kind of a sanctuary place for people who practice plural marriage. Christine Marie speaking to us. Members of the community had reached out to the police department on a number of occasions about Sam Bateman. We had heard that he was trying to gather members of the FLDS community to his new offshoot, that he was gathering multiple wives, and that some of those wives may be underage. It was obviously cause for concern, but I told Christine Marie at the time that unless we could establish that some criminal act occurred, we did not have a crime to investigate.
Okay. Sergeant Wilkinson told me it's not a crime to call someone your wife, even if it's a child. What's a crime is to do something with that child, but like to molest that child. And I didn't have that information. So I'm paying attention to any clue I can get. And Sam started inviting us to things and wanting us to film.
Wow, how many people coming out of there? Wow. What in the world?
It was uncanny. We would go on a hike up in the mountains. Sam would be there.
How's it going? That was amazing. I'm gonna shake your hand. That was like, how do you get up those rocks like that?
And then we got an idea.
Hey, brother. Sorry my voice is so bad, but I just got back into town, so I want to bring you a little surprise. Is that okay? It's your birthday, so I wanted to kind of film it and give this to you.
The idea was, if they let us film, maybe if we spent more time with them and developed a relationship with them, maybe we would see what was really going on. Was he sexually abusing any of these girls?
46. Okay, good. You guys have a good birthday. Tomorrow. Oh, good.
This is for the king.
Yes.
We were gonna literally bring you up.
We wanted to get a crown, but we couldn't find any, so.
I told him, I'll go in my room, you shut the door, and you see me, happy birthday, long.
Sam, I learned, was the actual leader of this new group, the Samuelite group. They all lived in the same house. The group was very small, less than 50 people, and that includes babies. Besides Sam, there were 3 main families involved. He recruited Torrance Beislein. Torrance was a very motivated businessman. Sam also recruited Liddell Beislein Jr. and Moroni Johnson.
I was so lacking in the gift revelation. I could not do it without sitting still.
I don't even know that I love him, and I will do what he asks me to do, and he has proven that you is my witness.
All the men in Sam's group had status in the community, and they all were successful. And I thought, why are they going for Sam of all people?
For the FLDS, everyone was expected to be obedient to the prophet. That's the way to heaven. So
Excuse me.
they're dying to hear from Warren, dying to know what their next step was. It's been 5, 6, 7 years since some of these people have heard from Warren.
Now suddenly, Sam came up with that Warren Jeffs has actually died. And the media is lying to you, as they always do. And it's just a mannequin that's in his room. And Sam said, I am now Warren Jeffs' messenger. He's giving me this direction from the other side of death.
This, in fact, was what Warren had said when his father died. His father had been the prophet, and Warren said that his father was now speaking through him. And so what Sam told his followers was that Warren had left his body and that he was now speaking through Samuel.
Yeah, the talker, he said, this is the spirit of Uncle Warren. Pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But if he didn't say it, he'd have never woke me up. He never started down the path.
He is now the mouthpiece for Warren Jeffs.
Feel the spirit. I feel the spirit. It's a gift.
Sam decided that the mantle of Warren Jeffs had fallen upon him. I mean, shit. If you take people's faith away, they'll do anything to feel it.
Moroni was the first person to believe in Sam. And because Sam was now the prophet, he agreed to turn over his daughters, even his very young daughters, to marry Sam. By the time we met Moroni, he had given all his daughters to Sam.
I surrender the ladies under my care. You be known to Father Samuel. What he chooses to do, it's his business.
Moroni had many wives, and most of those wives married Sam. And then Sam starts taking Liddell's daughters and his wife and other women in his care.
And I said, Samuel, she's yours. And he said, God bless you.
So your whole family is now going to be sealed to Samuel?
However it might look to an earthly mind, you don't have any clue. Those girls love it. I'll testify that to the whole world. I've seen it.
Everybody in a fundamental Mormon group want to be associated with the prophet. They want to be the right-hand man of the prophet. They want to be the wife of the prophet. It's like being the wife of God. And if you're a believer, who wouldn't want that?
Several of my nieces ended up marrying him. It gave them the opportunity to have children. I just felt like, but by the grace of God, that could be me.
It was really hard for me to see these people that I really loved and respected go that way. You know, Lud and Torrance are my nephews. So I did know a lot of them very well.
Now that he's a prophet, Sam would use his power to make his desires known. Torrance had a very successful green energy company that was making a lot of money. Moroni and Liddell worked for this company. And I learned that Sam's followers were subsidizing his life.
We found out where he lived, and so we drive by it every couple of days and see how many cars he had there. And then all of a sudden, holy crap.
That's basically the Bateman crew and their fleet of vehicles driving by my house.
They'd have a whole motorcade with a Range Rover, 2 Bentleys, and then another Range Rover. And they'd drive around town and show off.
It was really sort of a fuck you to all the men who had dissed on Sam and thought he wasn't important in his life. He wanted to show those men that he was.
Did you ever hear the story of our Canyon experience? It was a training. The training I was giving the girls was dang deep. It looks small on the surface, but it was eternal. I could feel it from the start.
Is it something we should film and talking about?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
At some point, Sam started believing that he should be the star of our documentary. What could be better than blessing the world with his presence, his face, his teachings? Okay, we're coming with cameras. Sam called and saying, "Can you come film this?" We played along. The rule of thumb was if Sam wanted us to spend time, we were gonna go. This is our new job. We are going on an adventure. Toga was making money doing music videos, but now his career was on hold. It was on hold.
He wanted us to film all the time.
Like some videos will be just one real fast.
My day would start out 8 o'clock in the morning. Olga, Sam wants you to go film it in the motorcycle.
Are you Sam?
He was the worst. He couldn't jump the motorcycle. He couldn't do anything. I had to sit there and watch him like a fool. Amazing. He would say, I want you to watch me hike. Wow, you're really talented. I didn't know that. When did you learn to do that?
What? Right? Just hiking.
We're here with Sam and the girls, and he's facilitating a reenactment of an experience. There's a message in it. It's like a life lesson, and he wanted that captured, so we're doing it.
So this is kind of how it was.
Did you say pray for me?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
said
yeah, I
pray
didn't
for
say
me
that.
about
did I?
it.
Should we do that one again? Yeah. Pray for me. That works.
Perfect.
I can't guarantee this is the right spot.
Watch the cactus.
You ever been wondering when you come down? I'm not the focus you, but this is a lesson that people have to learn. Is that you can communicate through the Spirit of God. Okay, what? Should we do it again or what?
Then one day, Sam called in the morning, and he said he had an impression. Now, an impression is like God's telling you something. I had an impression from the Lord that you and Toga need to come over to my house this morning, and we need to tell you something. He had all these women and children there. And then Sam said he had an impression that he should leave the room while the girls talked to us.
Okay.
Finally, the chance to talk to the girls by themselves. I was trying to figure out what can I ask without giving a red flag. Do you feel like your life, like how has your life changed since all of this? Because you got your testimony of that.
And you always know somebody's praying for you. What more could a girl ask for but just to be alone somewhere?
The girls were never with Sam. They told us that they had received confirmation from God that they were meant to be with Sam.
Be off of the Bentley and go get oil and talk.
Sure.
Okay.
And then Sam said, let's go for a drive. And he puts us in the car and he picks 3 girls. I want you and you and you to come along. We start driving around. There's 4 of us in the back seat. And then Toga in the front with Sam. But he wasn't filming. Sam starts talking about how much he suffered. And it seems as if he's trying to build up to something. I thought, where is this going to go? I put in a lot of hours to wait for this moment to see what is really happening. So I reached my hand down First, grab my phone and I sneak it up my leg, and I very secretly hit record. And Sam just spilled the beans.
So on Monday, I have the most down impression. I'm sitting in the middle of a meeting at the office up there. I'm having a call over.
Actually, I think it should be like this.
Have a lot of people around me. Good. Screw her. And I was like, oh, we can. So I got up and left and went up. And I got put up. And I can put up the roof on it. I should be there. Well,
Sam explained that he had to atone for the sins of wicked men by having these 3 wives have sex with them.
And the 3 girls he had chosen from the car with the date that he was telling me.
Yes.
and he told me to have her there be able to pull off these. And that just about killed me. I can't even express. And he told me to have toilets because
This girl was 13 years old. It was clear for the first time that there was sexual abuse of children.
he comprehends the pain that I experienced. Yeah. It gives the most precious thing in my entire girl's future. There could not be anything worse than another man screwed. Nothing.
While he's telling this story, he's trying to describe all the pain and suffering that he had to go through. In the meantime, these pure FLU women, young women, and child are incredibly humiliated. They were like, not good.
Thank you for my viewers. Appreciate it.
She said, I was so dang scared. And then Sam starts telling him what to say.
I want you to testify that there's no darkness in it. Was there any darkness? Did you feel darkness? Did you feel? You need to make sure you testify to these 2 people that it has not been a darkness or a defense.
It hasn't.
You just tell me how you feel in the freak I have talked.
It hasn't for me.
Has it been an increase?
It's been a increase.
Anyway.
All of the panic circuitry in my body was exploding. I mean, my mouth was turning into cotton and I couldn't handle anymore. Well, I am gonna go and start getting ready and feed the animals, but totally can stay and talk more if you want. So,
Right.
well, thank you. Love you guys. Love you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this. Yes. Love you too.
Love you, Sam.
Thank you guys.
Love you all. Date is November 10th, 2021. Location is Colorado City, Arizona. Driving around in a car. Yeah, look, I have to turn this tape in.
Yes, but you got now full trust. You gotta wait a couple more days.
I know, I can't say, I have to
They
say.
can't know.
These girls need they need to trust me, or they won't ever trust anybody. So I don't know what to do. They'll know.
Let me know for a second, just let the police know, and
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna call. After I got Sam's confession, I gave the audio to the local police. I say, I got a bombshell. I have evidence. I have proof. I have the proof you've been waiting for. And I expected maybe, within 3 days I would get a call back. Yep, this is it. We're going to go arrest him. But it took a while for the police to get back to us. So we kept filming.
Here we are in the Bentley with the man with the plan. Wow, what an interior. I love it, the white jacket and the tan.
I would ask questions to try to get more information. I'm sorry that I'm not educated in that. But it was revealed to you what to do to save them.
All I know was I was sitting in one of our meetings one morning. And I said, I will obey. The Lord told me to do this thing.
So do you think that the reason you had to witness it so that you would hurt?
It's pain. They're my sweethearts. There's nothing on earth more precious to me than the virtue of women in general. My wives.
I think he wanted somebody to say, wow, you must be the new Messiah, that you would hurt like Jesus.
I couldn't even cry. I didn't even know. I was so shocked. I didn't cry. Yeah, it is. Sorry. I did cry. But watch, you'll find out that God may be a prophet, and you'll find out that people will come back.
Yeah.
They'll come begging me for forgiveness.
Do you see more wives joining the family?
Probably. Yeah.
The body's one, mind's broken, unsteady tides.
When Christine recorded Sam talking about the sexual abuse, I knew that it had her really worried and worked up in her feelings about what was going on there. She was worried about the girls.
Thank you so much, Christine, for everything also. Love you. God bless you.
Eventually, I heard back from the police who said that wasn't enough evidence.
Christine had told me about the recording. In that recording, Sam talks about adult men having sex with young women. I don't remember exact wording, obviously. I haven't listened to it since I listened to it the first time. It's not something I like to burden myself with as we go through these cases, because there is a lot of information that comes that hurts a gentle heart. We had a tape. We had Christine Marie who could testify that she created the tape. Based on this single tape. I didn't have enough for a warrant. What was missing was the finer elements. There was more evidence needed before we could start knocking at the hornet's nest, if you will. What we know and what we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt are two very different things.
Hey, darling. Hello. I talked to the investigator to find out what they thought after the fact. Yeah. But nope. Even though the tape was strong, Sam could deny it. In the meantime, he's just the cruelest bastard I've ever met.
I was worried for my mom. At the time,
my mom was at risk of going to a darker and darker place because her firsthand experience following someone like Sam Bateman.
Never judge. I lost everything. I was scammed and I was like almost not here anymore. I lost everything to being to not understanding who's trust.
Predators have just always been drawn to her. She freely sees the best in people. She sees the best in people to a fault. Very. I was worried for her, but I also knew that she was the only one who could actually get him put in jail. And to do that, you would have to go even deeper.
I don't know. Is that how it's supposed to be? Is that underneath the car?
If we put it under the car, then it's not seen.
Okay, so do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay, once upon a time, many more struggles.
While we were filming, I was trying to get to know the girls more and to understand the women in Sam's group. One person at a time? Okay, start with your name.
You're calling Mother Anna. I changed your name and she didn't even get it.
How did you go to Sam? In 2019, 22, when nobody was getting married, you know, people were children. But then my parents started having children again. So I felt like it was the right thing to do. Understand that.
Johnny, we're ready to hear some stuff.
To just have the impression and go to a man was like completely against our tradition. And yet in my mind, I wanted to do it because I wanted a baby so dang bad. And Samuel's name, it came into my mind. It said, you belong to him. This thing in the back of my mind. No, in the back of my mind, it was a still small voice.
Shook you very
Clear. Yeah, it was very clear. You are a part of the greatest events in history.
I know it's going to sound weird, but the Spirit of God tells me to tell you that there was a power that made everything through the whole universe. I don't know why the Lord opened my eyes to see, but I did. This is real. It's a real thing. Am I wrong?
I knew they were putting on a show. I didn't know exactly what was going on behind the scenes.
So, Christine, some of the girls were saying that you want to figure more test something. Is that true? Or?
You bet it is. It's so inspiring to hear that, and I think it served you well. I was not permitted to be alone with the underage girls. But Sam started sending his wives over to my house because he wanted us to film these storytelling testimony sessions for the documentary. He wanted to capture how much his girls love him. You guys want to eat or some shopping? Just don't burp. Yeah, are these your wedding rings? Yeah. I just want to hear your thoughts about how you came to know that you were to be the wife. I knew that the Heavenly Father wanted me to come be the I know that, like, he is my only connection to Heavenly Father. I cannot get him. I have to have him. Yeah. Had you already told your mother and father? My father knew about it when he called. How did you find out? She came and told me. There is one man on this earth I trust, and that is Samuel has come to wake us up to where we're headed if we don't obey. We're gonna head now. Oh, not Samuel. Very simple. Thank you.
Does it seem to you that all those ladies loving?
They don't love him.
Remember,
I mean,
when you're
that-
undercover,
You have to you have to compartmentalize.
I mean, those girls trust you. More important that he's trusting you. You know what I mean? That's you got to keep that going.
What do you think about the mothers of these girls?
Have some problems, but they deal with it. You know.
Looking at all the girls there that were Julia's,
Yeah.
all of a sudden she has an empty nest because Samuel was taking all her daughters.
Fucked up.
All of those children, Julia thought she was going to continue raising. She didn't expect to lose at age 10. You know, my heart really breaks for her.
For Julia, yeah.
Yeah. Such a fictional world. People didn't just jump into the situation with just open arms. My husband and I've been married for over 25 years, and we didn't have any communication with the prophet Warren Jeffs for many years. Not having church leadership just right there to counsel with, it was hard. So I would ask questions. And
Nothing worth anything in this life is easy.
women I talked to the man, and was the father who I started off and so Penny and my sister ones and all of my I did question the things we were doing, but well, maybe I'm not comprehending or understanding, and if I'll just hang on, I can better understand it, because I felt like he wouldn't ask me to do something that would be harmful to myself or destructive to our family. So keep this very, very confidential. It became clear that if I wanted real information, I would have to talk to somebody who was not under Sam's control. We have things to talk about. Moroni had a son named Warren Levi, who did not support Sam. He was very worried about his mother and his sisters and agreed to secretly meet with me.
Starting in 2019, Sam married 7 of my sisters, ranging in age from 20-ish down to 9 years old. Married is just a phrase to say that Sam currently can do whatever he pleases
Right.
with the girls.
Did you ever see Sam kiss the underage girl?
There was none of them that went easy to get married to Sam. Not one of them. Every one of them referred to him as the devil. I remember Sam came to me and he's like, "The Lord has told me that your little sister belongs to me." But I was like, she's 9 years old. She's not ready for this mentally. But we've been taught to respect our fathers. Don't question. The girls trust Moroni. And Moroni is owned by Sam Bateman.
There you go. Parallel between every one of the prophets and President Samuel.
That's powerful stuff.
I started spending a lot of time with Sam's male followers, especially Moroni.
I'm learning from you.
I wanted to understand why he's convinced that Sam is speaking for God.
How do you know Samuel is the true prophet of God?
You, he had a position before Heavenly Father.
All of a sudden, Sam felt this and that and whatever.
Yes.
About 8 months before Sam named himself the prophet, Moroni started doing his own thinking. The time no one was supposed to be getting married, having babies. But Moroni started taking new wives and having children without the blessings of Warren Jeffs. He was shunned by the town. He didn't know, would he ever be FLDS again? I mean, that was his culture, his lifelong investment. He felt like he had really sinned against God.
We're in a hell of a fix. You say we don't serve God, but I doubt it. We're gonna get our shit whipped out of us.
Moroni, he thinks, I'm going to hell. Life is over. But Sam, who now represents himself as speaking for Warren Jeffs, starts embracing Moroni. He's offering a path to salvation, basically. Sam was putting him and his family up on a pedestal.
Hi, son.
And then how?
I know. You gotta catch me first.
Moroni's like, I have a second chance. At that point, Sam becomes God to Moroni.
Man, chose second.
Sam had no reservations now about commanding that people obey him.
Moroni would take his money, give everything to Sam. And then Sam wanted more and more and more, like Moroni's wives and daughters.
But is that still recording? Yeah, sorry.
We actually are borrowing someone's car so nobody can recognize our car. Okay. We'll just sit here quietly. I was looking to talk to somebody that was on the inside who had to talk to the girls one-on-one. Hey, I'm in the black car. Come on out.
You're putting your beams in somebody's bedroom.
There was an FLDS lady who was related to all of the people who followed Sam in one way or another. She was really concerned about what was going on.
He has him so flippin' mixed up.
Her children being sexually molested.
It just doesn't make sense. Why does the girl have to get ruined before she can get help? He is a predator. He's in everything that they've been taught and told.
Yeah.
You know, when he goes and digs into the scriptures and he tries to manipulate things and twist them to capture their children, and they don't realize.
Anxiety, really. Okay. Like those y'all at the south.
You heard that part of the interview, you boy? You deserve. No, just chip, babe. Thanks.
Naomi, who we call Gnomes, was always next to Sam.
She only thinks what he's planted in it. She doesn't even have a mind of her own.
Been harassed in her wind. And she finally got to the point where she was exhausted and she gave in.
Oh boy, Gnomes wants that. I really don't know how this is going to end up. She's seen the battle. Gnomes mentally fought.
That's right.
Show me.
My niece Naomi married Sam. It was really heartbreaking to my sister. Gnomes. She was under a lot of pressure to go be part of Sam's family.
Your wife number.
I'm 13. Wife number 13.
It was Liddell Jr. who brought her into the Sam Bateman group.
What's your relationship with him?
He's my cousin. Yeah, and he was also like my caretaker for 10 years.
Since Gnomes was very young, Lud took care of her family. She really idolized blood. Then when he started to get in cahoots with Sam, he wanted gnomes to be part of Sam's thing. Her mom tried really hard to talk her out of it, but gnomes respected and loved blood.
He's like, I feel impressed that you should come out and listen to Samuel. Father Samuel, he said, Heavenly Father impressed me to tell you that you belong to my family. And like, I went like, stone cold, like, no way. There goes my whole life. There goes everything.
Let me get some food real quick. I'm actually gonna go on break real quick, use the bathroom, and heat my food up. So
We're not teaching now.
I'm actually on a phone call, so I'm going to mute this as well real quick. But I'm going to come back, but I'm just going to mute the Well, that was a bad phone call. It just kept on going in and out. But hopefully I get a call today. She said that they should be calling me back. Hopefully. Okay. Let's get back to this. Let's get down to business. Let's see. Put that right there. If you hear me munching, mind your business. I'm munching.
Question authority. We're not teaching them to be critical thinkers. Teach them strict obedience. Teaching them.
The thing I regret is that I didn't go sooner. I regret in life.
We groomed our girls for this. We're not teaching them question authority. We're not teaching them to be critical thinkers. We teach them strict obedience.
What do you think represents you guys' group?
Class. Love it. I don't know what do you think.
Yeah. When do you do class next?
I know.
Do it. Sam did a lot of trainings, hours and hours and hours of class, and they became more bizarre by the minute.
Too, as it's just explaining that goals are so important. Write down your goals. We actually have, I don't have mine with me, but we have go cards. Pull out your go cards, would you?
I'd love to hear some of your goals.
My goals are to be the most influential person on earth.
Okay.
And to govern North and South America and probably England.
Okay.
And to bring the Queen of England to my home. And I believe that that's part of my mission. But she's not going to come with this chicken. She just said,
Wow.
it's a half a different thing. Well, this is what I've grown up here.
Coming down.
One of the most beautiful homes I've ever seen. And I know it'll happen.
That's beautiful. Did you get that?
I got it.
He's building this fantasy world with all these followers.
These are things we're envisioning as time goes on. Things that some of them we already have.
And then he also started putting things on YouTube.
Hi, Samuel Bateman here. Hi, Samuel Bateman here. I want to make a channel where I can help other people take a step up. All the extremely rich people say is find a mentor.
He was following these self-help gurus, and he would regurgitate what he learned.
You know, your word is your bond, is really how you should think. You make that commitment or say something, make sure you do it. I've been talking every day in our classes. Don't think negative thoughts. Don't think that something's going to go wrong. It literally will draw to.
Yeah, for sure. Everything he said and did, I had to act like everything's okay. We're cool with it.
Surround yourself with great people.
So I like doing on it.
Feelings are mutual. I'm so grateful for Christine that she just loves me.
She was going over there a lot. There were people who thought that Christine was there supporting and helping.
Precious. Truly a daughter of the king.
There were a lot of people accusing her of empowering him.
I couldn't defend myself. I couldn't come out with the fact that I was playing a role. Because my plan, it was working.
This is recording, and this is recording.
They started being a little more loose with the things they would say.
Okay, whoever has the mic.
Forgive me for asking, but how did you get a crash course in the birds and the bees between the time you got married?
He ended up telling me. I was gonna say,
So Samuel himself taught you. How old are you?
15. There's no such thing as an underage married in the priesthood. The Lord can tell, and why would he hold the 15-year-old back from the blessings if she's ready?
They were talking openly about the sexual activity that Sam was doing with the underage girls.
He had made it seem so sacred and like celestial. I don't know how else to put it. And he said it brings such an increase like of the Spirit of God.
That resulted in another call to them.
Christine is telling the local police this is human trafficking. Local police said, just give us everything you have, we'll look at it. They went through it for months, nothing happens.
We are flying very close to the sun. We get no guidance at all. And I wish that I could discuss what our strategy is with somebody in law enforcement. And I mean, we're sitting around shooting from the hip. And I feel so alone.
I was filming something, and there was always 2 or 3 girls in the back, completely destroyed. You could just see them crying. The law wants you to basically get in bed with them.
It's like Sam felt like he had all authority to do everything. I think he felt like that he was unstoppable.
Oh, do you feel forced to be here or anything? No? Are you lying? How do you know that I'm not just deceiving you?
Sam was very clever because he married some of the mothers of the child brides. So when Child and Family Services interviewed them, he could say, the mothers are here too.
Did you know that the CPS has been here and they didn't find anything? Of course not. We're not doing wrong.
I covered virtually every significant and not so significant bad guy in this story. I don't know a single individual that has set off more flares, waved more red flags than Samuel Bateman. I became acquainted with Christine and Tolga, and I knew what they were doing, but they're not cops. If that's what law enforcement needs to bust a case, getting a documentary crew inside, and they still don't act with any sense of urgency.
Sergeant David Wilkinson with the Colorado City Marshal's Office. Please leave me a detailed voice message.
There were so many things that I didn't know. I didn't know how to proceed. And I was incredibly scared of what was really happening in Sam's house.
What is going on when we're not there? What abuse could be stopped?
I called Sergeant Wilkinson a number of times.
Christine Marie kept feeding us information that she gathered. And so I was working desperately to follow up on each of the pieces of information to make sure that we established and could support everything we presented to a prosecutor. And as some would say, tie it up in a pretty little bow.
Work in progress.
And I let him know. I thought the FBI should be involved. He said the FBI requires, multi-state criminal activity. And I said, well, we have it. Colorado.
You did that? Nebraska? Why Nebraska?
Went on, but
Oh, Verona, yeah. Got it.
In Nebraska, there's Monument, Colorado, there's Yukon, Arizona. It was interstate human trafficking. And eventually, my pestering did have a positive effect. Sergeant Wilkinson called me and said, I have some news you're going to like. We're going to have a meeting, and we would like you to do a presentation on what you know about the Sam Bateman group.
So, are you okay with 2:30 at the FBI field office?
Yes.
On Martin, Flagstaff.
We're going to video journal where we're going right now. Toga and I are on the way to talk to the FBI. It's complicated because 2 hours ago, many of these girls were at my house. And they know I'm the one. That they will never trust an outsider again.
Well, this is what you do, baby. You're trying to stop child rape. This is a joke.
I have to speak. There's no choice.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't have a choice.
When we went to the FBI office, I spoke to FBI agent Don Martin.
By the time this case was presented to me, I had been with the Bureau 18 years. I had spent the previous 10 years working child sex crimes. This case was brought to us by local law enforcement. They told me about Christine and Tolga, who had lived in the community for several years and had provided these video recordings. My understanding is some of the agencies had incriminating videos as early as November of 21. I don't know why it took them so long to come to the FBI. Christine had spent evidently many, many months trying to get somebody to listen and to do something. The first recording that I heard was related to a November incident in a Bentley.
There could not be anything worse than another manuscript.
And somebody brags about having young girls involved in sex acts with other men. You do not investigate that. There were 23 wives, 9 of which were minor children. I realized that it needed to be taken care of in a more expeditious manner.
I just remember feeling like finally somebody is sharing this burden with me.
We try not to divulge names, sources, or confidential informants, but I will say that Christine was in a unique position to provide information.
Well, I'm going to spend a lot more time over
When you start an investigation, you do a little bit of a background check. And I didn't have any concerns working so closely with them because they were providing video evidence as raw footage. It was definitely an unusual set of circumstances, not very somebody willing to and wanting to be recorded all of the time. Especially talking about some of the heinous crimes that he was committing. But it is very difficult to prosecute a case without someone to testify that they were the victim of a crime. We did not have that.
I always feel inspired.
Christine was putting her all into this.
Get him and that.
She was there every day.
I'm a billionaire. You are? Already? Price on one girl. The richest man on earth.
I started to drop hints a little more directly.
Can I make a comment right here? Okay, so there's a book called The Gift of Fear, and I actually would recommend you all read it because it's how to stay safe. I have that because of my own personal story. Because there were actual things to help you really spot people who have bad intentions. If somebody ignores when you say no, that is a red flag.
That's what I'm saying. Be bold and blunt. If you say no, you mean it.
It's very good for you guys to be aware of this.
somehow we gotta step up out of this immorality. There's just some way that I could be used as an instrument to help step up. Lift your mind a lot further.
Excuse me.
It's lots of wing.
I was hoping that one of the women would think for themselves. And then I started to notice Julia coming over to my house with her little toddler, visiting the animals. I was happy about that because usually people who followed Sam didn't come over alone. Well, she came over more than once. I even saw her one time raking leaves in my yard. I realized she was coming up with reasons to come over here. Bingo. That's when it hit me. Julia has something to tell me. I mean, I had been dreaming of the moment that somebody would come to me. I sensed that Christine was making herself available. I did wonder if she was the one I could go to and ask for this help. And then I caught myself and I'm like, there's no way, you cannot say this. I said, I want you to know that anything you tell me, I'm not going to tell Sam. She starts to tell me some things. She was really general. She let me know there was a lot of suffering going on. But she didn't come out and say anything negative. I thought, I know exactly what to do. I decided it was time that I tell her my story. We went in on her kitchen table and she got out a file box.
So look at this.
And she started to tell me a story. She started to tell how her mind was led deceitfully, little by little, by a false prophet to do things she had never done, ever. I too had been deceived. I believed that I was the wife of a prophet. My false prophet told me obedience is everything. Obedience is the key to eternal life. He told me I needed to go through tests. It started in small steps. I had to sell things that were very precious to me. I already sacrificed my business, and he told me I had to be separated from my children. Then I had to go live among the poor and needy and be abased before men. I believed that there would be eventually a divine payoff. And that meant I had to do what he said or risk my soul. I was basically sex trafficked. One of his directions was that he wanted proof that I was being sexually exploited. So somebody, man, took a picture of me. Little by little, with each test and each rebuke, I got more confused. I couldn't even recognize myself. He said I had to go through tests first to be worthy of being a prophet's wife. This whole nice part of you. Does that remind you, Shannon? Well, it does. Just disgusting. I just broke down. And I started to just say, we are in deep trouble with sexual sins under this false idea of religion. And I knew that to get help, I needed to reveal to this woman the sickening things I've done. I've been a part of. It's very difficult to explain to people how all of this happened. A slide of snow coming down the mountain. It's to roll like a snowball. Compromise by compromise, how does something so small as a snowflake build up till an avalanche was over our heads? I grew up knowing that you have a conscience. There's a certain fear that comes over you. The fear that you know you're doing wrong. The fear of God. One of the subtle things this wicked man did was to destroy conscience. I was groveling in sin. I didn't want to live like this. I envied the corpse. I envied the corpse a lot. We weren't living very far from the police station. I could have simply walked over there. But I just kept thinking, will they hear one woman's cry? Once I knew that Christine was the one I could go to and ask for this help, I thought, okay, now we've got two women, one. Will they hear it?
The body is one, but mine is broken. Steady tide. My emotion is to trust you.
Excuse me.
Third stage, July 28th. Miss Julia. When Julia began disclosing to me, I began recording. Following Samuel to house, not doing right. It isn't. And that woman does not have to follow a man to hell. She doesn't. It was hard for her at first. She started by telling me how Sam was getting more and more cruel. It was tough for me to tell Christine how much of a fake front is being put on in her presence.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
The minute that she would leave, he would attack him with the most vulgar language and effing him and all sorts of stuff that was just disgusting. I just watched as he began to feed himself off everybody. He's home on the computer, floating around, and they were out cleaning motel rooms and Airbnbs and working hard. Even when they were expecting babies, sick or not sick, they would go to work to earn the money for him. It's one of the girls' notebooks, and we knew they'd been doing affirmations to increase their inner self. And then when they were home, he would make them do hours of writing everything husband Samuel. You know, that's Samuel to my servant Samuel. I wanted to show Christine what he was doing to manipulate their minds. Samuel, I am in holy fucking love with you. It just became an absolute drip. Just like
In a week's period of time, Julia went to Christine, I think, 3 or 4 times, crying and sobbing and talking for hours. Julia never agreed with giving her daughters, especially her minor children, to Sam Bateman. She knew it was wrong, but she had to obey what the prophet said and what her husband said. Bateman also threatened Julia that he was going to take her 1-year-old son away if she did not obey him. Eventually, Christine asked Julia if she wanted to talk to somebody about it and told her about me.
Julia was terrified of law enforcement, but she knew something had to be done and didn't know what else to do. Just get back to God. I might trigger you that did. And soon thereafter, Dawn was in town, and Julia agreed to meet with her. I thought, this man cannot go on and keep hurting people. And so I went and started telling it all. It's very emotional, and it was the hardest thing to do.
Julia had information on certain sex acts that occurred and where they occurred, what happened during those sex acts. This is going to get gross. Sam Bateman chose the people he wanted to be there, which would include adults and minor girls. To not get caught by law enforcement, Sam was taking precautions not to get any of the minor girls pregnant, but having sexual relations with them. He wanted to have people watching him have sex. He wanted other people to be having sex while he was having sex. He would have the fathers having sex with other women with their daughters in the room. Sometimes he would have people watching by video.
But you could see it.
The goal was to try to teach the young girls how to please Sam Bateman.
It was clear that what I, before meeting Julia,
Sorry about that. I was on a phone call, so I apologize for that. Where is the freaking chat box for this? Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Daniel, back at it again. Damn, Daniel. Let's see. Being a woman sucks, guys. Being a woman freaking sucks. That's all I have to freaking say. This time I won't hold the line. I'm giving you time that you do not deserve. No, 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 you're not mine. You just pretend to be. Don't need you tempting me with your alerts. Did the speaker turn off?
Battery full.
It did.
SVBLIMEPC.
Put this back on.
I'm waiting and waiting for the FBI to conduct the search warrant. We've been filming Sam for almost a year. We were on pins and needles. When is the arrest gonna happen? And Julia was panicking. She was living in a swirl of suspicion. Sam wore a high paranoia. And he was watching.
I had a conversation with Moroni.
Was it just you?
Yeah, it's just me. He turned to me and said, "Are you temptations to report Samuel to the law?"
Oh.
What?
He asked me that.
Julia was distraught with the situation that she was living in, and we were concerned about the threats that Sam Bateman would make to her and to her daughters.
If Sam found out what I was doing with Christine, he will take my children and he will take those people and he will flee.
Did you end up coming over to my house? How'd that go?
He drove us up to the cabin.
Uh-huh.
As we got up onto the freeway, he said you need to sign some papers.
What?
Over shit and stuff. Yeah, he says we need to do that so that Samuel could deal with them as he wants.
Oh.
Sam had been trying to get all of his wives and children to get passports.
There's stuff going on. There's movement. They're buying a plane for $250,000.
Okay.
He's gonna leave any second. He's ready. I mean, he's gonna go out of town. He's gonna take girls to go. He's getting a plane. Hello.
Even though we did not have enough evidence to arrest Sam on the child sexual assault charges, there was concern as to what he might do if we did not act quickly, act decisively, to alleviate the situation. So we finally made a plan to serve the search warrant the next week.
It's down to
And
that
go
fast.
ahead. Maybe our
This is Sam Bickman. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
I'm supposed to meet Sam and the girls, but I went to the building, they're not there, and I went to the Blue House, they're not there. And I called and his mailbox is full.
District 2 has probably a central locate. It is vehicle. I know trailer full of people, including children inside the vehicle. Fingers sticking out the top of the door of the trailer.
In the trail.
230 copy 2.
Come over here, please. I'm gonna get that knife off the chair, okay? Any other weapons on you? What's your name, sir? What's that? What's your name, sir? Samuel. Samuel? Samuel what? What is your name? Samuel what? Okay, you have to identify yourself. You understand that, right? No. Yeah, Samuel Bateman. Samuel Bateman. I don't understand. Like, what are you doing? Samuel, I just got here. Explain to me what's going on. Stuff? We're out here because there are supposedly people back there.
People in truck. How many other people are in the truck? Open the driver's side door. Hello. How many people do we have in here? Okay.
Are there people back here? What about in the trailer? How many people are in your trailer? Hey. Start walking back there. They don't need to go in handcuffs. We should get them out of here. This is the police. We're gonna be opening the door. I want your hands empty and above your head. If you not, you will sign this on the court. Let's get that other door open. There's hands sticking out of the top of the trailer earlier. Let's see them. Let's see your hands. They're in the front picture. Okay. Keep your hands up for me. Is there anybody else inside the trailer? No? Perfect. Thank you, guys. Just go back there with your siblings, okay? Get back there with them, okay? Thank you so much. At this point, he's detained right now. No, ma'am. No. You're not going to decide the outcome of it. We will decide, and we'll let you know how everything's going to happen here, okay? Sound okay?
Oh, 14-year-old? She had a ring on her finger. She had a ring on her finger. They've all kind of like hidden those. And you and Neil.
One in the red dress he's talking to, the basically the ringleader, she's basically telling them.
Thank you.
We need to talk to parents, either whether they come here and pick them up or we get them on the phone. So we'd like to call and actually talk to the parents for all the juveniles.
I got a call from one of my daughters saying, hey, we've been stopped. And 3 of the young girls were in the trailer.
To make sure that you are, do you know where your daughters are right now?
I knew that the FBI was coming. And I was under such carefulness at the time, I had to just play it on. Or it would have blown apart everything we've done so far.
And you're aware of who they're with? I believe his name's Samuel.
So it was agreed that my underage daughters could be there. But I also got the officer's information and a phone number. And then I contacted FBI.
Julia was frantic because Sam was possibly being arrested. My biggest thing was, hold on. Do you have information? Can I get a hold of this person? I didn't want our case to be blown. And luckily, Julia had gotten the trooper's information.
Do you want to keep them there? Is that what you do?
Hey, listen, one of the girls on the other line. Do you want to mute your phone and I'll three-way and talk to her and you can listen? Sure. Okay. You know, I got the. It's gonna be okay. It's okay. You can cry. It's okay. It's just a pleasant experience.
What's happening?
It's not Oh my goodness. This is such a scary situation. Remember, these people don't even know.
All right. So this is the stencil, y'all.
His calling, nothing like that. This is really just about having the girls in the back of the truck. So let's remember.
I am going to take a nap and then I'll be back. But yeah, so we're gonna come back later and then do the stencil. But I'm just gonna take a nap for a bit now. I had a long day. But yeah, we got 3 stencils done now, y'all. Excited.
The thing is, it's gonna get media, it's gonna get all kinds of things, you know. Right. But I'm not sure. Yeah.
Then tonight, the leader of a small polygamous sect in northern Arizona facing several charges after law enforcement found him transporting several young girls inside a trailer in Flagstaff.
That man still behind bars tonight. He pleaded
All right, guys. See you guys in a bit.
The media.